So, how has COVID changed my writing? Um, or said better, I guess, how has COVID changed my writing habits, this whole pandemic? Um, I know for a lot of authors, it completely has shut them down. Creatively, it's very difficult to operate for them, being stuck pretty much in the same place all the time. And I'm used to traveling 3 months out of the year, to some pretty wild places. Um, the last big trip was to Chernobyl. Um, that's like my idea of a trip, a fun trip. But ironically, with me, it hasn't stopped me at all. In fact, if anything, I increased my production. I think I wrote maybe four full novels since last March when we got locked down, first got locked down. And one of those novels is like 120,000 words. And like, so that's like really, it's almost like five novels. And I also wrote like maybe four or five novelettes that are 10,000 to 20,000 words a piece. I don't know, a dozen short stories, um, hundreds of small articles that I've ghosted and stuff like that. So, you know, I've, I've just been writing a ton of material, and just biding my time until this thing is over. I get to travel again in September. I'm going to head to Turkey and then hopefully from there to Italy, where I'll stay as long as I can, at least until the ski season. That's the plan for now. Could be shorter, could be longer, who knows. Um, but I definitely know of authors who, like just have not been productive at all. They just have completely shut down with this thing. Um, you know, I'm just the opposite. I think I would have gone nuts if I hadn't been able to be creative. And like I touched upon the other day, um, for certain, despite like the optimism you might get from like magazines like Publishers Weekly or whatever, um, the pandemic has had a terrible effect on traditional publishing for sure. Like I said, distributors have gone down, printers have gone down. One publishing house got sucked up. Um, there's almost, but there's been zero conferences. Um, the first conference I think will be BoucherCon, but I think I'm already going to be away, or just about to be away, so I can't really make that one. Um, but I promise to be back on the conference thing next year, starting with Thriller Fest, I would imagine. Um, but also, there's been some positive stuff that's come out of this. Like a lot of people, like a lot of authors, have begun to embrace video. Finally, the world gets to see your face, hear your voice, uh, get your opinions on things, and um, it's we've had to come up with all sorts of new and unique ways of marketing our books. When my new one, Paradox Lake, comes out on May 18th, I'll not only be doing some podcasts and radio shows, I'll be doing a cooking show via remote access. So that should be interesting. Um, so, you know, the pandemic, in my opinion, it was overly politicized, but it was damn real too. I actually had COVID and I had it really badly. Um, and I've been vaccinated because I'm not going to be able to travel otherwise. But I do believe we're going to see the end of it this summer or close to it. And I personally, anyway, this is my 2 cents. I see us getting back to normal in the fall, and that's good news for writers.